Hey guys, so I'm here with another video. Now, in this video, I'll be showing you more of a hands-on deployment of a Django app using Docker containers. So I'll just give you an overview of what containers are, then we'll get into the deployment process quickly. So virtual machines and containers, right? So previously in the past, we had a problem wherein like each application was run by one server, one specific server, and it was each server had no other capacity, multi server running capacity. So one server was allocated as an application. So this was a big problem because once you need because if you want to run one more application, you need to designate a fully new server, buy a fully new server, and designate hardware resources, software resources. So this was a bit of a hassle. So what happened? Was like there was a solution given to us by VMware, wherein they virtualized an 8086 architecture instruction set. So this was the big one of the biggest breakthrough we can say. I guess it was in some 1979 or something, 1979. Yeah. So yeah, so the virtual machine, what does a virtual machine do? It's nothing but it contains a hypervisor which duplicates your machine, or rather, like you have another OS. I'll be showing the architecture diagram here. Wait a second. Yeah. So as you can see, there's a hypervisor here. It completely duplicates your PC into multiple PCs, wherein each of this virtual machine is virtualizing the hardware. Okay, so and each machine has its own operating system. So this was the isolation technique of virtual machines. So is it better? So once you compare this with containers, the containers have very less overhead. Okay, because it doesn't have a designated operating system like virtual machines. It virtualizes the host machines operating system, whereas this thing has its own operating system, right? So obviously this will take larger time to boot. So that's one disadvantage of virtual machines, but it has various advantages. So that's why like sometimes we club both of these and combine both of these and get better performance outputs. Okay, so next solution was containers, right? So cloud, like in the past couple of years, it has been an incredible way of hosting and managing workloads and stuff, distribution and all, right? So what a container technology is that it's used in a DevOps environment wherein each application can be shipped using this container, right? And Docker is like an OS. It's an OS to the containers. So it Docker completely manages each of the containers to run multiple containers and provide thorough output to the final container, right? So there are various other tools like Kubernetes. The Kubernetes is used in orchestration. I think I'll leave that to some other time. So, like, yeah, as I was saying, the container is a software unit of code that packages all the dependencies so that it can be run on any of the system. Yeah. So this is the workflow of a container. So of a Docker containerization workflow. So for each project, we can have something called a Docker file, wherein it is a set of instructions to build an image, Docker image. What is a Docker image? A Docker image is nothing but a set of instructions so that you run a Docker container. All right. So you need a Docker file to make a Docker image. And to run that container, we require something called Docker image, which has complete sets of instructions. Okay, so let's go to the next part. All right, so here we are, and this is a project, Django project, which I had like shared to you in the previous video. You can see that if you have not yet seen it, it's a COVID dashboard. So I'll be containerizing this project, Django project, right? So first you need to create a Docker file. Okay, this is like as I had told you all previously. So D capital, yeah. So this is the Docker file, right? So now there are a few steps of instructions we have to fill it properly. So first thing is we need to set the base image of this. There's something called base image of the container, right? So for us, it's Python. Okay. Okay. So the next step is we have to set few instructions wherein like Python don't write pydecode with one. Yeah. So the what is this? This is like a set of uh, and this instruction tells us not to copy the Python bytecode. All right, because this is not required for the container process creation. What is Python bytecode? It's the inter as you know the Python is an interpreted language, right? So the 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 program is first converted into a set of byte codes. Okay, these byte codes are then uh, interpreted, whereas in compiled languages we convert it into a 0 1 machine language, but here it's not like that. Each set of instruction, it goes by one line, and we convert it into a byte code first, and then that's interpreted, right? You can just check on Google about that. There's something uh, unbuffered equal to the Python unbuffered one ensures that the Python output is logged to the terminal, so that like when if we have to monitor Django logs, we can do that in real time. So that's what it does. So you don't have to know this, just enter this. So the main part starts now. Okay, just focus now. So we create a working directory. Okay, working directory named as code. Okay. So now I think I had shown you in the previous video the requirements.txt file where it contains all the requirements of this project. Okay, so I'll just explain to you this. So yeah, so this is it. This is the working directory we have created, and we have copied the requirements.txt over here, this file, in that working directory. That's what this command does. Okay, now install -r requirements.txt. So we just install the dependencies of this folder of this project. And lastly, we copy everything in this directory to the code directory. Okay, so that's what we do here. We expose the port here, right? Port number 8000. All right, you can make it anything if you want. Okay, this is one more executable command we set. Okay, Python manage.py. So 8004. Okay, so we set the command. We set the executable command. So these will get the dependencies get installed, and when we run the container, this executable command is run. Okay, so making the container work. That's the workflow. Okay, so the next part. Okay, now what we've got to do is we got to run this Docker file to create an image. Okay, before creating an image, I forgot to tell you there's something called the Docker desktop. Okay, Docker desktop. Docker desktop. So this is a UI wherein you can see the Docker images and stuff. So I think you have to download this. I forgot to tell you. So yeah. All right. So as I was telling you, the Docker UI. So this just specifies each and every Docker image you have, Docker containers. So yeah, this like you have to download this. I guess it doesn't work else. Okay. So now we got to create the Docker image, right? So the command for this is, as you know, this command like this thing comes when you download the Docker desktop and stuff, right? So don't forget to download that. Oh, okay. Tag. Okay, so I'm naming it as test app. Okay, and this thing colon. Okay, so this is nothing but a version. You can create this thing for referencing your whatever app or something. Okay, so 1.0, 2.0, or any referral thing you want to name. You can just keep it. Okay, so that's it. Dot build dot. That's all. So it might take some time to build. I'll be back when it's over, right? So, okay. Okay, so the image is created and in the Docker desktop UI, you can see over here, test app tag is 1.0. So this is the image we've created, 2.7 GB, okay? So now, after creating the image, we have to run the container, right? So you have to use this command, okay? So Docker run name uh, sets the Docker container name. Minus D, it makes the image in detached mode. So you don't have to, like, you won't see logs and all. It'll be running in background. Minus P port numbers, it maps the port 8000 in the Docker container to the localhost port. Okay. So, and this is the image which we've created. Okay. So that's it. Just enter this. Before doing this, just you have to use, like, you have to do this thing, Docker login, right? So if you don't log in, this won't be run. So yeah, so once, okay, so I've run this command. So as you can see in this container, we've created a test app container and it's successfully running on port 8000. So let's open that up in the browser. Beautiful. So this is the application, it's working perfectly. All right. So finally, what I want to show you is how to uh, push this onto the Docker Hub, right? So there's something called Dockerhub, wherein you can push the images, pull the images and stuff, right? So for that, you need to firstly tag your image underscore. And this is the image. This is the tag. So this is my Docker Hub profile username, and you have to enter the image again with the tag. Okay. So you've created a tag here. So I forgot to show you one more thing, Docker images ls. So this, uh, yeah, so Docker images, this shows each and every image of yours. So this was the image we had first initially created, right? And this is the image I've created just now. So this is this. So this helps in the pushing process to the Docker hub. Now let's push it. Docker push. Let's push the image. This image. Yeah, dash pst underscore app. Late 1.0. Okay, so the pushing process will take some time. So yeah, I'll be back. All right, so this is Docker Hub. As I was telling you, after doing those commands, this is the same. This is not that same image, but this is some other image which I had created. So it involves the same steps. So that's all. You just push it and it comes here. The tag comes here. This is the image, and how to pull the image. I've mentioned it to you. For example, let us delete the existing Docker, existing images and stuff, right? So I'll just show you how it's done. Once you remove all of these, you're free to pull the images from cloud. All right. So, okay, if you want to know what this is a Ubuntu image, right? So, for example, you want to run Ubuntu, Docker run, or this is the interactive mode, Ubuntu. Here we go. So this is the Ubuntu. You can run Ubuntu commands here, and it's completely isolated from the Windows system, right? Okay. All right. So now what I wanted to show is Docker images. So it's completely empty, and even Docker, the containers are also not there. These are some random stuffs. Okay. Okay. Let's now pull the images. So I'll provide this link to you. This is the core dashboard container. You can after installing the Docker Hub, Docker desktop version, you'll be free to use this and this this application. It's like after using it, you'll realize how easy it is to ship the application, right? So if we follow the steps here, the README. Okay, so to show you that I'm completely detached from that project folder, I'll be pulling you the image from my command prompt. So yeah, it's already there. So I've pulled it just now. So it just shows it's already there here. Let's run the image here. Okay. Okay, so this command is to run the image which is there here. You can see this image, right? So we are running this image, right? Okay, let's run this. So this image, this thing gives you the container name. Okay, we are giving this container name. I think slash is not allowed here. That's why I've used underscore here. Okay, so that's all. It should start running now. Container it's created. It's running now. I guess. On system checks. Yeah, so that's it. You can see how it's easy it is to fetch the program from the Docker Hub. So the container you pull the image from the Docker Hub, you run that image that to run the container, and that's it. You can utilize the application very easily, and there's no, as you can see, there's no sophisticated process involved here. It's pretty simple, right? Just two commands, and you can have this application on your local system. So yeah, that's it. And hope you've got an idea of what Docker does, what containers are, and why they're used, and how easy it is to ship using these things, and how useful of a technology container is. Yeah, so that's it. I'll be wrapping it up here. So thank you. Thanks for watching.